N-E-S-T-L-E-S. A dream as sweet as this. N-E-S-T-L-E-S. Creamy white, dreamy white. Nestle makes the very best. N-E-S.
Hello and welcome everyone. Today I've got something awfully special. Today we are looking at the Samsung W25 Flip. So what exactly is this, you might be wondering? So this is part of Samsung's exclusive line, which they only release in Hong Kong. So the W series is one that goes back, gosh, I believe as early as 2013. And again, they've been super exclusive models. And for the longest time, they were flip phone models. So even after the advent of smartphones and so forth, the flip phones lived on. I've done a couple of videos about that particular device, or rather one of those particular devices being the Samsung W2018, which I can't wait to do a comparison video on with this one here. So fast forward, and 2020 was the year that they added the W series of the Fold. So that became the main line, replacing the flip phone variants. And this is just a regular Fold 6. But when that came out, you know, it was a W20 and there was nothing special about it. It was just a, you know, a more exclusive and premium version of the Fold's first generation. And who really wanted that? And then it continued until the 22 and then the 23. Now the 23 is when they first added the flip line into the W. So they then had the W23 Flip and the W23 Fold. Then last year's offerings for the 24 were tempting. This particular device became, or rather it was white for the main glass back, and it had gold around the sides, and it was softer across the board than what we see in terms of this beautiful design here, where it's got the texture around. Now, this particular back, you might notice that something seems different, and you'll get a better idea once I go ahead and flip this open. Let's give this a fun little polish, and you'll see almost, you know, the slightest bit of difference in terms of the tone. And that's because the bottom panel is made of ceramic. So not glass, full-on ceramic back here, whereas this right here is the most current generation of the Gorilla Glass. And it just gives it such a beautiful mirror finish, as I'm sure you're seeing there. The ceramic might be the piece that kind of, you know, really swayed me. But really, for the longest time, I've been wanting to get back to a version, an iteration of a flip phone. And while this still isn't perfect as far as just being a modern flip phone, it does so many things great, and that's what's drawn me to it. Much like the current Flip 6, we've got the beautiful cover screen, which they added the cover screen usability back with the 24, and then the Flip 5. And being able to use that fun little, what is this thing called? It's like a multi-view app or whatever it might be. But that's what allows you then to have your choice of applications there on the small screen. And frankly, I can do everything that I need to on this small screen. So that's kind of, that's what sold me, was the idea of being able to pull this out of my pocket and use the little bit that I do in my daily life. And then if I need to answer a call, then I can flip it open and so forth. And the flips inside, I think that the crease is actually even better than it is on the the Flip 6 presently. There's something about this where again, unless you're really shooting for it and you're really trying to see it, it's just not there. So I think they did a phenomenal job, and it makes sense. You know, this line, again, has always been just one cut above the best of their offerings in the United States and their other markets that are not explicitly Hong Kong. And, you know, so going to the Fold 6 quickly as my comparison here, this I bought, I've been using the Fold series since the 3. I had the 3, then I had the 4, and then I skipped the 5 because I didn't see the point. The internal screen of my 4, this whole little internal screen, broke. It experienced a black crease in the middle, and I couldn't even use the touch feature. So across the board, though, with that particular device, I had only heard a slew of negative things. You know, it had been one bad review or one negative take in the longer run sense than good. So I think a few people might have gotten lucky having the Fold 4, but for the most part, for some reason, that particular iteration was garbage. Again, thankfully, I was able to trade that in, no problem, and, you know, I opted for the Fold 6. And the reason why I went with the Fold series for my normal daily phone, I have other devices, one right there, and I also bought an Apple phone just to prove a point. I don't use it, but it was to prove a point. More on that at some point, I'm sure. But the handheld aspect to this phone and the usability therein, this is why. So being able to hold this with a smaller form factor, not being nearly as wide, is what drew me to the Fold series, and then having the heftiness of weight, especially compared to what I was using before. So when the Flip 6, or W25, is being utilized as an actual phone, I like the idea of being able to have just semi-bent, which gives me that feeling. It brings me back to that sensation, and I can't let it go. I can't. It's, to me, they were the perfect form factor. They were, the usability was fantastic, and all I'm really missing is some form of dial pad. Now, there is the Motorola, which I know has an application of sorts, which allows you to use a dial pad on the bottom bit and then kind of gives more of a retro feel. That particular UI is only customed to, I think, even just that first generation of the Razr, maybe even the second, and it can be used on the Flip series, but it doesn't look great. And even then, it removes some of the other functions, and so again, it's kind of a toss between, is it worth it? Maybe something else will come down the line, maybe somebody will create something. I don't really know, but for what this is for now, I'm very pleased. One of the things that I can't believe I haven't mentioned yet is the presentation, the box that this came in. So this is the box which housed this little beauty here. Now, this material here, not really sure what they've got going on, and as nice as this box is, it's still not the same as it was for the Flip iteration. Now, I will go ahead and sneak that in. Again, premium, super cool, we love it. Way better than what we get with any current phone in the market. So whether it's a Samsung, an Apple phone, it doesn't matter. The packaging, in my earnest, is lacking a lot. But when I came to my W2018 Flip Phone, well, that came packaged in this. Now, this is packaging. This is presentation. This is a glass. This is glass right here. And then they've got the little metal stamp here. Come on. So then once you open the actual box, you got this cool little card, and then your beautiful phone would sit right there. So yeah, that was missed. That will be missed. And there, again, you've got the metal plate there. So yeah, everything since has been a downgrade, and I don't know that anything will ever compare again, which is truly unfortunate, but such is the way of life, I guess. But to that, some of you might be wondering why I don't use the W2018 anymore if it was so perfect. Excellent question. Reason for that comes down to what I've coined in the fun terminology being like 5G man. So what I mean by that is AT&T, or all the major carriers a couple of years back, decided were going to discontinue the 3G services on their devices. And favor of 4G and then this whole 5G deal that with network connectivity. None of that has ever mattered to me whatsoever. But after that whole update and roundabout, whatever you want to call it, happened, plain and simply, my W2018 flip phone just didn't work anymore. In the arms did not work with service at all. So I mean, I could use it. Yeah, it still turns on. I can use the internet and all those fun things if I'm on Wi-Fi. But otherwise, it just deleted that. So didn't know that was a thing. Didn't know that could be a thing. And it's especially hurtful because of how expensive it was. Normally, I'm not talking price of things, but at the same time, it's it was a pricey device, and I paid as much as I did for it because I plan to use it basically forever. Again, that didn't happen thanks to their whole nonsensical update. Blah 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 blah. So, enough of the stories and deals. Here again is one shot here. We'll go ahead and I'm sure I'll have different B-roll bits inserted over my rambling and so forth. But this device, and if you're even considering just a general Flip 6 or possibly even the 5, so far it's got my highest remarks, highest recommendations. It's everything I can want in a current iteration. Again, the pocketability, the portability, everything about it therein is just what I want. Materials, choice, and the exclusivity factor doesn't hurt. But let me know what you think. And if you are interested in purchasing this device, I will have a link down below to eBay, in which case you will be able to purchase this very device. I've got a partner out there in Hong Kong, and so he is blazingly fast with our partnership and shipping. So I actually got this first, or I had ordered this, and we worked a deal back in Monday of this past week, and I received it in on Wednesday. So I guess it was technically Sunday night, and I got it in on Wednesday. So from mainland China, again, Sunday night here, and then on Wednesday, like noon, I had this in hand. So, pretty cool stuff. Either way, thanks so much for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. And we'll see you again for the next video.